watch this over. So good. So harmonic scanner, right? Now, this is the harmonic scanner. And as I mentioned before, you have two types of pattern. You have the M pattern, right? And then you have the W pattern. So when you see an M pattern, it usually means that we're looking to sell, sorry, we're looking to buy the market, right? So we're looking for the market to go up, right? Now, how else do we know that we're looking for the market to go up? Well, if you look here, let me see if I can lock it. If you look here, you can see that the entry is at the bottom, right? And the take profit is above your entry, right? These are your take profit points, right? So this is how we know that we're looking to buy. The first thing is that we see the M pattern, and then you see that the entries are at the bottom as well. Good. So now, when I was doing this training last week as well, I mentioned to you guys that you have, especially on Sunday, when you guys came to class on Sunday, I mentioned you have three types of market movement, right? You have uptrends, and uptrends mean that you have higher mountain tops, right? So you see the mountain tops here, right? So you can see that they're getting higher. And then you have higher valleys, right? So you can see the valleys getting higher in price as they go up. So this is an uptrend, right? Now, then we move into a downtrend, and the downtrend means lower mountain top. So we start from this mountain top, and when we measure the next mountain top, you can see that it is lower than the previous one, right? And then over here, you can see that this one is lower than this one. So we know that this is a downtrend, as well as the valleys are also getting lower as well, right? So we know that this is a downtrend, right? So when we're looking to buy the market, what we usually look for is for the trend to change. That's what we want. Now, if you are not seeing a trend change on the 1 hour time frame or the H4 time frame, it's more likely that you would see it changing on the smaller time frame, like the M15 or the M30 time frame. Now, what I want you beginners to write down is the different time frames that we have. Now, remember I told you that each time frame represents one candle, right? So all of these that you see here, they are candles, which I would have went through in class, right? So each of these represent a candle, and they all represent a time. So this is the M15 time frame. So what this means is that each of these candles form every 15 minutes. All right, so just make sure that you're making notes as they go through this, right? So each of these candles form every 15 minutes. So I'm gonna zoom in. There we go. Right? So we identified the downtrend. We want to buy the trade. So what we're looking for now is for the trade to actually change its trend. Right? So we want to see that the trend change from selling, so change from a downtrend to an uptrend. And the first thing I want you to use is over here, you will see a slanted line, and it's called a trend line, right? It's called a trend line. So I want you to use the trend line to identify the downtrend. So starting from the C, right? So you're going to take the trend line, you're going to click it once, right? And start from the C and bring it down to where we get at least 2 touches of mountain tops, right? Let me make that a bit. There you go, right? 2 touches of mountain tops. Right? So I am going to ask, let's see who is on this call. So I am gonna ask, right? Rhea, yes, let's go with Rhea. Rhea, please can you tell me what type of pattern are you seeing right now at the bottom? Please type it in the chat box. What type of pattern are you seeing at the bottom? This is just a bit off topic. I want to make sure that my advanced people are still plugging in. Rhea? No. Let me look and see who else is in here. Avril, tell me what type of pattern are you seeing at the bottom here? What type of pattern are you seeing? Avril. No, Rhea, your chances are gone. Avril, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Money, I call Avril, not you. But yes, it is an inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? But anyway, beginners. So we've identified the downtrend. You join a trend line from the C and bring it down to the D, right? And then let me see if I'm going to get you guys to use the MACD. Let's see here. Yes, I'm going to get you guys to use the MACD. So let me remove that. So any indicators that you see on your screen when you get the harmonic scanner, you will see this actually. This is how it comes, right? This is the indicator that you get. I want you to come down here. I want you to remove the RSI. Click delete. And then I want you to come to the top of the screen by indicators. All right, I want you to come by indicators. And I want you to type in MACD. MACD. All right? I want you to click on it. And this is how it looks. Good. So we want to enter this trade for a buy. You've drawn your trend line and you have this MACD here. You don't know what it means, right? Now, what I want you guys to look for is I want the first confirmation. So let me start to type some notes, right? So I want you to first identify the trend with a trend line, which we have done, right? Then I want you to add the MACD. So let me put all the steps properly. Remove the RSI indicator at the bottom. Right, that's number 2. So that you guys could just take a screenshot of this when done. Number 3, right, add the MACD from the indicators. Right? Now, confirmation list. Confirmation checklist, right? Number 1, wait for a solid body candle to break the trend line. Right? And then number 2, wait for both MACD lines to cross histogram on the MACD indicator. That's it. Let me make that just slightly bigger. I'm going to bold it. That's it there. I can put it here. Good? So the first thing is that you need to identify the trend with a trend line, which we have drawn here. So we've literally identified the downtrend, right? I want you to get 2 touches of a mountain top minimum. If you can get more, go for it. But what I don't want you to do is force a trend line. What I mean by that, please do not go through any bodies of the candles. None. You're only going to touch the wicks. And what are the wicks representing? The highest point that price would have went for that time period. So you're not going through any bodies. You're just going to take a trend line. You're going to draw it from point C and bring it all the way down and get 2 touches of mountain tops. Do we understand? If you understand and you're following, type yes in the chat box. I want some other beginners to tell me yes. What about Shanice Jordan? Billionaire. What about Kyle? What about some other person's DJ, which I know who that is? Benta. Are you following? Or are you lost? If you're lost, type lost. No? Okay. So, the MACD lines, whoever just wrote that on my screen, this L, please remove it. Thank you. Good. So the MACD lines, both of them need to cross the histogram, right? So what we're looking for is for these to do this and this. So it needs to cross the histogram. I drawn a line there, right? So you will know. Both of these need to cross the histogram. And you have to have a solid body candle breaking this trend line. Once you have those 2 confirmations, we're going in for a buy, right? Beginners, that is all you need, literally. You don't need to identify no patterns. You just need to identify the trend with a trend line. You need to remove the RSI because the RSI always comes standard on your harmonic scanner. So you remove the RSI indicator from the bottom, you add the MACD from the indicators, and then confirmation checklist is wait for a solid body candle to break your trend line. What does that look like, coach? Let me show you, right? That's what we want. This is the visual. You need a solid body candle breaking and closing. So by closing, I mean if this candle is still active within its 15 minutes, then you need to wait for the 15 minutes to run out. And how would you know? Well, if you look at your watch right now or your phone, it is 28 minutes past 8, right? So which means that if this was the present candle right now, and remember this is an N15 time frame, so which means that these candles close every 15 minutes. This candle should be closing at 8:30. And then the next candle starts at 8:30. So at 8:30, once you have this solid body candle breaking and you have the MACD lines crossing the histogram, we're good for a buy. Right? You can go for take profit 1. And if you're going for take profit 2, I put the notes inside the team chat already, where I said if you're going for take profit 2, always move your stop loss to entry. What does that mean, coach? So if your stop loss Remember, your stop loss is the price point that you set in the market to say, if the market reverses and is going against me, this is the area that I actually want to come out of the market with my losses without blowing my entire account, right? So let's say, for example, let me put it in red, put it here. So if that was your stop loss there, and what that means is that if the market had to continue selling, right? If the market had to continue selling, this is the area that I want to come out to the market, right? So if this was your stop loss and the market went up and it hit TP1, TP1 hit, right? And you're actually holding to take profit too. I want you to, this is where you would have entered the market. Let me bring it, let me make it more realistic. Let's do another one. There we go, right? So this one closed, so you entered. This is where you enter the market around here, right? And it actually went up and hit take profit 1, right? You're going to move your stop loss from here to entry. So this will be your new price. Wherever that red line is, which in this case is 0.62726, this will be your new stop loss. So you will go into the MetaTrader 4 app, and on the trade that you have running, you would touch it. It will bring up a menu that allows you to modify the trade. And you go to stop loss and you change it to your new stop loss, and you allow the trade then to continue, right? You allow the trade to then continue up until it hits take profit 2. We following? We understanding? Tell me in the chat box. Tell me if you're following me. Good. Excellent. Right. So I just want everybody right now to go ahead and take a screenshot of, hang on, you're gonna get it now, right there. Go ahead and take a screenshot of, wait, hang on, before you do that, let me add some notes so that when you look, you can see your notes here. Not yet. You make sure that your notes are nice, right? I'm gonna remove this, and I am going to put here good. So you can now go ahead and take a picture of that. So that should look good in your phone. And if you can, and you could print it out, etc. Right? This is your example of what it is we're looking for. So let me also take a screenshot just in case someone comes and asks me, Coach, I didn't get a screenshot of what it is you asked for. So we got it there. Good. So let's do one more example and then we're going to hop on to Ask Me Anything Wednesdays. Let me just make sure that Gavin has started the call. Good. So remember how the harmonic scanner works. On the left-hand side, you get your brokers, right? So these are your brokers, but the broker that majority of you would have signed up with is FX Choice. So all you need to do is find FX Choice, click on it, right? Click on the drop-down list, and remember, scan for N15. Scan for N15 means that you're in and out of the market quickly, right? Because the candles form every 15 minutes means that the market would move quicker than if you are on a 1 hour time frame or H4 time frame or even a daily time frame, right? So remember, H1 means each candle forms every hour, H4 means each candle forms every 4 hours, and D1 means each candle forms every day, right? So we're going to scan for H1 chart. And you can look through to, I'll tell you the ones that I really love to trade, right? So first of all, did anybody catch this trade today? I sent it out. This is CAD JPY, right? You would have caught the inverted head and shoulders on the M15 time frame, and this would have meant hit take profit 1, 2, and 3. Anybody caught this today? Anybody actually got into this trade? Does this mean that we entered the trade when the TP set at take profit 3 and move stop loss in order to lock in the profits? No, you're not entering. You're not entering the trade. You're not entering the trade at take profit 2 nor 3. If you wanted to hold the trade after it has hit take profit 1, so your options are, I usually tell the beginners, and they said it, I would post it for you because they know you only joined today, that I want every beginner to secure their profits at take profit 1. As you start to get familiar with the patterns and how trading works and so on, then you can then go for take profit 2. But if you're going for take profit 2, as the trade hits take profit 1, right? You remember your take profit is only set at take profit 2. So as the trade hits take profit 1, you're moving your stop loss on that trade from where it was before to no entry. And what that means is that if the trade had to reverse, because it already hit take profit 1, so if it had to reverse and go into a deep sell, it would basically break even, right? So you won't lose anything. By moving your stop loss to entry, you will break even. So it's just a way of protecting yourself. So if you're holding the trade for take profit 2 or 3, always move your stop loss, right? So if the trade hit take profit 2, but you were holding for take profit 3, now you will move your stop loss from entry and move it to take profit 1. Right? Does that make sense? If so, type yes. Does it make sense? Are we following? Right? Let me see if I can find anything, any patterns. This one here is one as well. So the one that I just did, that was, let me just make sure that that was NZUSD. There we go. So we got NZD CAD. 2 patterns here, 2 beautiful patterns. Both of them are M patterns. Now notice that this looks the same as NZD USD. This is NZD CAD. So let's follow the instruction, right? This is an N pattern. So N means that we're looking for a buy. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the trend line and identify the current trend, which is a downtrend, right? So starting from the C, right? So make sure you start from a mountain top. We're not forcing the trade. So we're not going to go through any candles. So if you realize that above that you started to go through candlestick, candle bodies, then you need to adjust it. So this is where we're at, right here. So we're just touching the wick here, right? So you have one touch. Do not force it. All it means is that you need to let the market come to you now, right? So the rules are, we want to see a solid body candle, right? Break our trend line before we buy, right? And then we also want to see these two MACD lines cross the histogram, right? If you want to get technical and ask me where on the histogram they need to cross, it is the zero line. So if you look here, you will see that this is 0.000, the zero line, right? The zero line is here. But what you can do is, if you want to be specific, you can take a horizontal line. So you see where the trend line is on the left, you can click the arrow next to it, scroll down for the horizontal line, and literally come and put a horizontal line by your zero line, right? So it looks like this. You can darken it as well. That way you know exactly where it needs to cross, because the lines need to cross these zero lines on the histogram. So the two confirmations for the buy is both lines need to cross the MACD, and a solid body candle needs to break your trend line, and then we're going in for the buy. Right? So those are your two trades. I'm going to send out these trades because these are going to be nice setups for us to get into. And we're going to trade these two, NZD USD and NZD CAD. We'll send them up to you guys. Right? So let me see now, what do we have before I close off tonight's call? Inverted head and shoulders, yes. So Monique said, is it possible for the predicted movement to take place, however the MACD lines do not cross? In the case, move on to the next trade. Yes. So basically, sometimes you would find that the candlestick has broken your trend line, but the MACD lines are so far away from the zero line. Once you have that, move on to the next trade. Because once the MACD lines cross and you get the solid break with the candle, and both of them happen around the same time, it would not be exactly the same time. You're going to get one after the next, but you need to wait for both to happen. If you're not getting the other one, move on to the next trade. You need to have both corresponding with each other, right? You need to move together. You need both confirmations. Once you have both confirmations, the trade is guaranteed. And what we want is that we want to guarantee the trade, right? Because remember, the harmonic scanner gives you 85% win rate by itself alone, right? So if you add the strategy, which is what I have added there for you guys to draw a trend line, and the MACD, so if you add this strategy to the harmonic scanner, you have just increased your win rate to a higher percentage than 85%. Right? So all I want you guys to do is follow the rules that I set, and you're good to go. You are literally good to go. Two confirmations. Good? Excellent. So let me just stop.